The winter storm has sent cars spinning into ditches, left drivers stranded, and the worst could be yet to come with higher than expected snow totals for some parts of North Texas.
For me, it's not safe driving for a long distance.
I think tonight's going to be, if it gets below freezing, it's going to be worse.
Schools and businesses closing up shop for another day as people hunkering down.
And road conditions are expected to deteriorate as the night wears on, and we might not be out of the woods tomorrow night either. There is a refreezing that's possible.
And more than 1,500 flight cancellations at DFW Airport, with issues expected to linger into tomorrow as people try to get into town for the Cotton Bowl.
Here for you, Fox 4 News starts now.
If you haven't seen snow at your home yet, your best chance is on the way. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. Some areas of North Texas have already reported as much as 6 inches of snow. Others have seen mostly rain or bounce between sleet, rain, and snow throughout the day.
Yeah, they've kind of gone back and forth, but all of it has led to crashes on North Texas roadways. The Dallas County Sheriff's Office alone has already responded to at least 50 crashes, and conditions have been worse as you go north. They just keep getting bad.
And now the snow is beginning to spread out across a larger swath of North Texas, with our crews seeing some heavy snow in some areas. That's our drive camera. Let's begin with Chief Meteorologist Dan Henry. Dan.
Hey there, Steve and Heather. That's our Fort Worth camera, and you can see the precipitation has changed back to snow there. 32 at Alliance, 33 DFW, and 33 degrees at this hour at Love Field. I've drawn in the approximate rain-snow line here based on what we're witnessing on radar and some reports. It's roughly halfway between Sherman and Bonham, extending down through McKinney, just about over DFW Airport, and then sliding down towards the Cleburne area and then back into western Bosque County. Now, to the west of this line, it's mainly snow, and that rain-snow line will continue to slowly advance to the east. But the window is closing on accumulating snowfall, or the potential for it, for our southern and southeastern areas that haven't seen much. Now, from the beginning, we've been saying that areas south of Dallas and Fort Worth, we're going to see a lot less snow, and that their best chances for snowfall would be during the Thursday evening and Thursday night time frame. Here is a look up north, and this is snow generally from Sherman back towards Gainesville, down through Denton County here. Farther east into Fannin County, especially as you head over towards Honey Grove, it's more rain, freezing rain and sleet. In fact, a little concern about areas in Lamar County. They've had some heavy ice accumulations on utility lines and tree branches, and that could potentially cause some sporadic power outages. So we're hoping that rain-snow line hurries eastward and changes over that freezing rain to snow. There's the approximate location again of the rain-snow line, basically dividing the Dallas-Fort Worth area in half here. Tarrant County is now mainly in the snow. Dallas County is still mainly in the rain down through the Waxahachie area as well. But that's snow from roughly Fort Worth back westward through the Weatherford area, Azle, up towards Boyd and Decatur. Farther south, much of this is still rain. Ellis County, Hill County, over towards the Corsicana area. You're going to have a limited opportunity in these areas to see a little bit of snow before this all ends. Current temperature readings, 31 Sherman, 32 Bonham, 32 at Granbury. A little warmer down in Corsicana, where it's presently 37 degrees. So certainly the red light on tonight as this wintry mix is changing over to snow. That'll create some hazardous driving conditions. Fortunately, we're not going to get all that cold tonight, dipping just below the freezing mark. Snow tapers off tomorrow morning, so we're going to be dealing with, in some cases, slushy roads. In other cases up north, there'll be snow-covered roads, and then it goes back to slush in the afternoon tomorrow as temperatures rise up to about 36, 37 degrees. But there will likely be a solid refreeze late tomorrow night into early Saturday morning. And on top of that, the potential for some freezing fog that could create some additional icy conditions. We'll take another look at radar and, of course, your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Dan, thank you. Now, almost all of North Texas school districts will be closed once again tomorrow.
We have a full list of closures, delays, and more on our website. That's fox4news.com. And if you also look at the bottom of the screen, we are scrolling through closures. As Heather said, they pretty much say closed through tomorrow.
Right, so there are parts of Collin County, too. Gosh, that was just right in the middle of the storm's bullseye. Snow started early, leaving roads slushy for most of the day.
The conditions have caused problems all across the county. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager is in Plano tonight with a look at what she's seeing there. Peyton.
Hi, Steve and Heather. Here in Collin County, it really has been a blanket of snow all day. I am located in Plano. I'm going to pan down here. Plano had about 3 inches of snow. McKinney had about 4 inches of snow. And we've been traveling all around Collin County today. And it's been a constant level of precipitation. First snow this morning, then sleet this afternoon. Right now, we are still in sleet. We're waiting for it to dip below freezing, for it to go back to snow. Behind me is 75, and it has been very slushy on that highway all day. We spoke with some travelers. Take a listen. Tow trucks were seen as we traveled along 75 in Collin County during Thursday's winter weather. Drivers trying to tackle the snow and sleet. In Plano, 2 cars crashed, causing both to slide off the shoulder. A few exits north, a black truck had to be loaded away after it was found along the freeway. Off the highway, this McKinney neighborhood looked like a winter wonderland.
It's kind of weird for Texas to get snow, but I like it. It's really fun to just come out here and act like a kid for once again.
Colleen McGee and Jacob Merrill were enjoying their snow day when their four-wheeler wouldn't start back up. Meanwhile, power trucks were staged in Collin County, preparing for any potential outages. Back on the roads, Eric Salazar is headed from McKinney to his overnight shift at a Dallas hospital.
Luckily, the hospital I'm at, they offer a free room and board if it gets really bad.
More than I thought. There are more people out on the roads than I anticipated.
All while around 4 inches of snow fell in McKinney, with another blanket of snow predicted to pass through overnight.
Some are good, some are bad. Some standing water in the right-hand lane, center lane's usually good. Neighborhoods are dicey, and it's going to get worse as it gets colder.
And Steve and Heather also wanted to point out something we saw on the feeder roads, on those neighborhood roads, on the highway. You know, that slush has moved to the side, especially with this sleet coming down. And if that refreezes overnight, you know, those side of the highways, those highways will be extremely dangerous for those drivers. But right now, we're in Plano off 75. The sleet has definitely picked up in the last 5 to 10 minutes since we have been on the air again here in Plano, waiting for that to move over to snow like they saw this morning. I mean, 3 inches here in Plano, 4 in McKinney, and more on the way. Back to you guys.
Yeah, and I like the guy's advice, stay in the center lane where hopefully everybody's driving so I can have a good path on the way home.
Exactly.
That guy was the most thorough observer of weather I've seen. Good find.
I asked him one question. And I was like, and that's it. Thank you,
Okay,
bye.
perfect. Great to meet you.
Full scouting report. All right, Peyton, thank you. Staying north now, Denton County started seeing rain transition over into snow about 6:30 this evening.
And so that led to some treacherous conditions on the roadways there. Let's check in with Fox 4's Amelia Jones live in Sanger. This is west of Lake Ray Roberts. So how are things looking there, Amelia?
Hey, Heather and Steve. Well, we saw a full transition here in far north Denton County. We went from rain to sleet to snow, and it's still snowing. A lot smaller flakes than what we saw about an hour ago, but it is filling in. We're at a gas station parking lot, and you can tell where trucks had been driving all day, and then once it started to snow again, you can tell it's filling in that area. And so this is an issue for TxDOT operations as they want to make sure these roads are clean and treated throughout the night. And they want to make sure if the temperatures, if they fall below freezing, they're super concerned about that refreezing. And as Peyton mentioned, just these roads getting even more dangerous than they already are. We had a chance to speak to some drivers here in Denton County. They told us they made sure to be cautious and take it slow. Denton County saw a good amount of snow Thursday morning. By the afternoon, rain moved in and the roads were slushy. The TxDOT Fort Worth district says brine pretreatment is a part of that reason.
The amount of slush you see on the roadway is partially given to that because it lowers that freezing point. And you'd much rather have slush on the highway than, let's say, ice bonding onto the roadway. You don't want that.
Drivers like Gabe White are not taking any chances on the road.
Four-wheel drive and drive slow.
Even in his large truck, White said he was cautious on his drive from McKinney to Denton.
So I drove from McKinney and I did 20 miles an hour from my house till I got to the highway, and then I did about 40.
By Thursday evening, we started to see a transition from rain to sleet. When we pulled over at another gas station, big snowflakes started falling. The transition back to snow is a concern for TxDOT operations.
Our crews are going to monitor that very carefully. We're going to be very aggressive with the way we treat it. If there's an opportunity to remove it, to plow it off, that's what we'll do.
Especially on elevated surfaces like overpasses and bridges, which are typically the first spots to freeze.
So throughout the evening, as it transitions to sleet, to snow, we're going to be focusing on those elevated points. And if at any point there's any sort of accumulation, we will go to large-scale plowing to remove that off the roadway.
Fort Worth District of TxDOT covers 8 counties. More than 300 employees are working 24/7 during the winter weather event. Val Lopez says they felt prepared for the first half of the winter weather and are gearing up for the second round overnight. But they need drivers to do their part, too.
You have to drive to the conditions are present. You have to slow down. You have to show, especially be cautious on those interchanges and those bridges. They accumulate ice quicker and faster and ice over quicker than the main lanes.
Lopez mentioned that what came through this morning was pretty on par for a winter weather event in North Texas. We'll obviously have to see what happens overnight. We did see several TxDOT trucks out sanding and even putting more brine down on the highways as we were driving in Denton County. I also want to mention there are 50 additional crews from the southern region of the state up here helping the TxDOT Fort Worth district, and those crews are going to be focusing on the I-30 and 360 corridors. Steve, Heather, back to you.
All right, Amelia Jones reporting. Thank you, Amelia.
The Dallas Mavericks moved up their game against Portland because of the weather.
The Mavericks moved up that start time so people could get home to miss out on what we're expecting to start happening outside right about now. I was watching the game.
And?
I don't know how it ended. I need to look at it. It was 30 seconds left.
Walk away right at the end. Yeah.
So there's been a mix of sleet with brief periods of snow. Most of Dallas has only seen rain today. Even without a lot of snow, Dallas County officials say they've responded to about 50 crashes. Fox 4 Stephen Dial is at what can be a trouble spot, the High Five in North Dallas, with a look at conditions there. Stephen.
Well, first off, Steve, the Mavs did win, so fans are heading home in this weather right now. And the High Five where we are, where 75 and 635 meet, elevated surfaces are always a concern for first responders and for drivers because elevated surfaces freeze over quicker than other surfaces. Dallas Sheriff's Office says that they responded to more than 50 accidents today, and about 20 of those were considered major accidents, 32, I believe, or small accidents. So slick roads, and the further north you get, the worse the roads get. It's more slushy up here, but for the fans leaving downtown Dallas, they're just dealing with cold rain.
In the midst of heavy rain, fans brace the elements to see the Dallas Mavericks play.
We thought it might get canceled, but it's a professional sport. They're going to play the game.
Now I was working from home, so I was just monitoring to see if the game was going to get canceled, it was going to happen. Then they changed the time on me.
The game was moved up an hour due to the wintry mix that moved into North Texas Thursday. Crews at the AAC put out salt and cleared ice from sidewalks, but it was quickly washed away from the heavy rain. Some families drove from areas like the Colony in Denton County, where they had to trudge through much more snow than had fallen in downtown Dallas.
The main roads was pretty good, but, obviously residential roads wasn't that great, but the main roads were fine.
Others just navigated slick roads in southern parts of Dallas.
There's not a lot of snow on the street. There's not a lot of congestion either.
While getting to the game was easy for some, getting back home when conditions worsen is a concern.
We'll worry about that when it happens. Just be cautious, take my time, 40 or less, and I'll be just fine.
And if everyone would follow what that last guy said, I think a lot of people will be safe on the roads. In the last couple of minutes, the rain has started to become a little bit more heavy as it comes down. It really depends on which direction the fans are heading home. If they're heading south, they have a little better way. It's about 33 degrees, but those elevated surfaces are what's important. As far as the city of Dallas, their public works crews are working 12-hour shifts, and we know TxDOT is working around the clock. And so the real concern now, if you're already at home, is the refreeze and what things will look like tomorrow out here.
All right. Stephen Dial, be careful yourself on the roads. Thank you.
And thanks for the update.
Yeah, on the score.
So far, there's been more than 1,500 cancellations, flight cancellations at DFW Airport. There was a full ground stop preventing any incoming flights for a large chunk of the day, but that's been lifted. At Love Field, there have been more than 270 cancellations. Many departures have been delayed for de-icing operations, too.
A new wildfire forces hundreds more to be evacuated around Los Angeles, the latest on the fight to get control of the devastating wildfires.
A slippery day on some North Texas roads, how some people are helping others who got stuck. And here's another look at the live radar. There it is. We've got full coverage. Storm warning is still in effect. Winter storm warning. And that looks like the airport out there, too. We're keeping an eye on everything. More Fox 4 News at 9 coming up.
We want to take another look at the radar as well as a look at what's outside. This, in fact, is the South Lake Town Center. There's snow on the ground there and not many cars at all, of course.
Who would be hanging out there tonight?
Right?
It's after
Not
closing
right now.
hours, I
And
believe.
there's the radar as well, so that's what Dan's been talking about, is moving across North Texas.
All right, going to show you Pilot Point from earlier today. That's up north. We've been talking about northern areas got much more snow, and you can tell that is what happened in Pilot Point. Amanda Harvey sent us this video. horses out enjoying it. Don't forget to send us your pictures and video on fox4news.com. Let's check in with Dan Henry again. Hey, Dan, you see that horse rolling around the snow? It's hilarious.
Pretty scenes. I mean, we've had, been flooded with all kind of pictures from animals to little kids playing in the snow to big kids enjoying it, building snowmen, having snowball fights. It's been fun for a lot of folks, and we're hoping that others can get in on the action as well. We do have a changeover taking place. Look at Prosper, 7 inches of snow. Bonham saw 6 inches, McKinney 4 inches, Plano 3, Addison 2 inches. It's turned very slushy through the course of the afternoon and early evening as we've had rain falling on top of that snow. There's a look at DFW Airport. We showed you South Lake Town Square a little bit farther west of there. I imagine the changeover is taking place here around DFW as we speak. The air temperature at 33, Love Field 33, Alliance at 32. And again, we're not looking at surface temperatures to determine whether or not we're seeing a changeover. What's much more important is what's going on above our head. It's the air temperatures up around 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 feet that have to cool to allow the changeover to take place. And we've been seeing that here. There's our rain snow line that extends from roughly Bonham down through McKinney and Plano into northwest Dallas County, probably getting right through the mid-cities now, and then extending down through Cleburne. So west of that line, it's mainly snow now. To the east, it's mostly rain, although freezing rain and sleet as you head up into Fannin County and Lamar County. So it's snowing right now across a good part of Cook County, Denton County, back west towards the Decatur area. This is likely some freezing rain and sleet, and getting a little concerned about those ice accumulations starting to take place up in Lamar County. Rain to the east of that line still going on here in Dallas County. Again, that transitional line here is moving slowly but steadily east, so we will see that transition taking place across Dallas County probably over the next hour to 90 minutes, and then snowing back west towards Granbury, Glen Rose, more than likely into Meridian, and this is still cold rain from Waxahachie eastward towards Kaufman and down through the Hillsborough area. Current temperatures generally right around 32 to 33 degrees here in the Metroplex. It's 36 down in Hillsborough and 37 degrees at this hour in Corsicana. How much more additional snow can we expect? What about climbing out of this deep freeze? We'll have answers to those questions along with your 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, Dan, thank you. So North Texas drivers found themselves slipping and sliding on the roads in the Metroplex.
Conditions appeared to be worse as you went further north. Several road crews were treating the roads with brine and sand. Still, many cars were damaged and left on the shoulder of the road in places. In Collin County, for instance, some people were out helping drivers get unstuck. One man used his Jeep in Anna to help pull a semi out of a ditch. That's pretty amazing. He says he made the rounds today.
Yeah, there's a car and a truck up there on 75 a little farther north. It looks like they're in the ditch in the wall. We're going to head back that way and see if there's anything we can do.
Other drivers Fox 4 talked with today said they saw a lot of drivers taking it slowly or pulling over and just stopping and staying safe.
More than 1,200 people are in 3 shelters in Dallas tonight. The Austin Street Center and 2 temporary shelters at Fair Park are now nearly 70% capacity. Outreach workers with Our Calling have been out on what they call search and rescue missions. Some of them say that there are folks who say yes to the offer for shelter, others say no. Our Calling volunteers say they are experienced working with the homeless population and they respect their choices.
We're not going to go into somebody's tent, but we are going to announce ourselves, let them know who we are, that we've got emergency shelter available, and if we don't get a response, then we just have to move on.
Our Calling is asking North Texans to download its app and then send them locations where you see those who are homeless and out in the cold. The nonprofit says it will then send teams that way to invite them to a warming shelter and also a place they can get a hot meal. Be sure to stay with Fox 4 throughout the winter storm. We have 24/7 updates on our website, fox4news.com, and streaming on Fox Local. More than 10,000 structures have burned, and the death toll just keeps growing as crews continue to battle wildfires in California.
So this evening, another fire sparked northwest of Los Angeles and north of the devastating Palisades fire. That fire, the new one, the Palisades fire has already destroyed nearly 1,000 acres. The latest fire picking up as people are starting to return to their properties. Fox's Sarah Alegre has the latest.
It's all gone. Oh, God.
A painful new reality for thousands of residents in Los Angeles County. Deadly wildfires have flattened entire neighborhoods into piles of smoldering rubble.
I don't know how we're going to come back from this. I don't even know where to start.
Calmer weather allowed crews to resume aggressive firefighting efforts Thursday, while also clearing the way for many to begin surveying damage.
The devastation out there is catastrophic.
In Washington, President Biden announced additional federal funding to help. Money will cover 100% of the cost of hazardous material removal, temporary shelters, and first responders' salaries.
We're doing literally everything we can at a federal level.
Hundreds of National Guardsmen also being deployed to assist local law enforcement. It comes after authorities say they've made several arrests for looting.
They will be assisting us with traffic control and critical infrastructure protection.
Meanwhile, hundreds of thousands of people remain under evacuation orders as the fires continue burning out of control. The two largest, the Palisades and Eaton fires, have already destroyed nearly 28,000 acres. LA officials warn they could spread even further as powerful Santa Ana winds pick up again at the end of this week. While it's not over yet, the estimated cost of these deadly wildfires could reach up to $150 billion. In Los Angeles, Sarah Alegre, Fox 4 News.
And there's other fallout from the wildfires. They caused the NFL to move Monday night's wild card playoff game between the Vikings and the LA Rams to Arizona. The Rams were supposed to host the game at SoFi. You're looking at it there. It's an indoor stadium, but it has open areas, and so the air quality is the problem. It'll get inside the stadium, so in the interest of public safety, the game will be played in Glendale, Arizona. Former President Jimmy Carter was honored by family, friends, and his presidential successors at his funeral this morning.
All but one former president was joined by their spouses. Michelle Obama was not in attendance. The funeral included a eulogy from President Biden. The late President Gerald Ford, who died in 2006, developed a close friendship with a man who beat him for the White House. That was in 1976. So his son read a tribute that his father wrote before he passed away about former President Carter, as did the son of Carter's vice president, the late Walter Mondale.
Jimmy and I respected each other as adversaries, even before we cherished one another as dear friends.
Carter was farsighted. He put aside his short-term political interests to tackle challenges that demanded sacrifice.
The Carter family and flag-draped coffin flew back to Georgia. There will be a service there. There was later a private burial next to his late wife of 77 years, Rosalind.
Another look at the live radar. You see where the pink is, that's where it's snowing. And a live look at our Fox 4 Drive camera, 635 in Dallas. Dallas still looks wet. We're going to be checking back in with Peyton Yeager. She's in Collin County. Coming up on Fox 4 News.
Here's another look outside. The lens is a little bit wet there. This is on a 35 in Denton. Then you've got to look at the radar as well, so you can kind of see what is headed our way. You can also see in the camera there, lots of snow on the road.
And not many drivers, right?
No, not there anyway.
Keeping it home. Yep, smart.
All right, now we want to take a look at how Freddie in McKinney is spending his snow day, making snowballs, playing on the slide. Way to go, Freddie.
The family dogs not having as much fun in their winter coats. Don't forget to send us your photos and videos.
Look at that picture.
Freddie, yeah, enjoy. How you're spending your snow days. Include us. Send them to us.
Nice.
Let's take a look at the current conditions across North Texas. There's Peyton. She's still out in it in Plano. Anything changing, Peyton?
I feel like it's about to switch to snow, but we still have sleet coming down right now. We still have this blanket of snow. You know, this is kind of what we're seeing, 3 to 4 inches here in Collin County of this snow. You know, this is on like your grass, your front yards. I'm going to be careful here, but as you walk over here, this is what we're really seeing on those side roads, those neighborhood roads, kind of just like a slush. Hopefully I don't slip. Slush right here, but this is I know we're not below freezing yet here in Collin County, but once it does, this is what's really going to be dangerous. This refreezes, then we're talking ice. That's extremely dangerous. So right now that sleet's getting a little bit harder actually as it hits my nose and hits my hand. So we're still sitting above freezing here in Collin County, so we are still waiting for that switch over to snow. No snowflakes yet. I'm waiting hopefully to see some snow before I get off my shift tonight, because this all happened this morning. Like you guys mentioned, 75 behind me before I send it to you back. Pretty desolate. We have just about 2 cars coming down here, but we really have not seen many cars on the road, thank goodness. Took those precautions, but we're still again waiting here in Collin County for it to switch back to snow. It's kind of been snow, sleet for about 6 hours this afternoon, and we're waiting once again. Back to you guys.
Well, I think you should wait until you actually see it, Peyton, no matter how long it takes.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll just stay here all night.
That just makes me so nervous walking on that. Just be careful.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Peyton.
See you later.
Bye.
All right, a snowy day at the Star in Frisco. Drone video shows how the snow blanketed the Frisco area. That's really cool to see. So far, though, at least 3 inches of snow has fallen there. To the north, more than 6 inches, and there could be more snowfall overnight, which will change that picture.
All right, so let's check on the power grid from ERCOT. So far, so good. A lot of green up there. That means we're doing well. There have been some local power outages, but the grid appears steady and solid right now. A weather watch is in effect through tomorrow.
That rain-snow line continues to slowly but surely head east across North Texas. We'll take a radar tour all across the area, let you know how much more snow we can see. And also a look at your 7-day forecast to let you know when we're finally going to warm things up around here. Those details in just a few.
Okay, Dan, thanks. And before we go, another video sent in from a viewer. Pup having some fun. Sarah Collins says this was her dog's first time in the snow. The German Shepherd getting some air, trying to catch those snowflakes coming down. Pretty cute. More Fox 4 News coming up. All right, live picture, our drive camera. We are driving now west on 635 in Dallas, just west of the Galleria. So it just crossed over the North Dallas Tollway going west.
So we want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Dan Henry for the latest. Dan.
Hey there, Steve and Heather. We continue to see the transition from a wintry mix over to snow. Roughly across the western half now of the Metroplex. I'll show you radar here momentarily. That is going to lead to some hazardous driving conditions overnight, especially from Dallas and Fort Worth northward. The snow tapers off tomorrow morning. That'll leave us with some slushy and in some cases snow-covered roads. Then as we head into the afternoon, that's when we see temperatures rise up to around 36 to 37 degrees. Travel will certainly improve Friday afternoon, but anything left, and there will likely be still quite a bit north of the Metroplex, is going to refreeze solidly. And on top of that, we're likely going to see some fog develop. And when you have fog develop with temperatures below freezing, that's freezing fog, and that can lead to some black ice. Take a look at this dog here. Dog is having a blast in the snow up in McKinney. Our thanks to Sharon Williams. And that is Emmy, by the way, rustling through the snow. Whitesboro, 7 inches of snowfall. Bowie, 6 inches. Keller, right around 3 inches. The South Lake area as well, about 2.5 to 3 inches of snow. White Settlement, 3. And Weatherford, around 2.5 inches. Salina, 6 inches of snow. Trenton, 5 inches. Pilot Point, 4 inches. And Saxe, right around 2 inches of snowfall. There's a look right now at DFW Airport. They have gone back to snow now. The changeover about 25 minutes or so ago, light snow and mist being reported there. That, of course, is Highway 114. Here's the approximate location now of our rain snow line. It extends from roughly Bonham, just east of McKinney, into the Plano area, northwestern Dallas County, just east now of DFW Airport, and then it swings back on the east side of Cleburne down towards the Clifton area. So areas to the west of there seeing snow, predominantly rain to the east, although as you head up here into Fannin County and Lamar County, where temperatures are at or just below the freezing mark, they've had freezing rain, and that's really put a layer of ice on some power lines and also some tree branches there. This is certainly snow extending back through Sherman, Gainesville, down through much of Denton County now, through Roanoke, into northern Tarrant County. I'll put the rain snow line on there again. For the moment, it's still rain here in much of Dallas County, but we're starting to see that changeover now. Wouldn't be surprised if around Coppell and the Farmers Branch, Carrollton areas, we start to see that changeover taking place momentarily. And down to our south, we've got some snow falling now from roughly Granbury and Glen Rose to Meridian, but you're on the back edge of it here, so you're not going to get much at all, maybe just enough to coat the ground there. And the farther south and east you go, your window is closing here on any opportunity for snow, but that's not a big surprise because we really didn't expect much snow at all in far southern and southeastern portions of the area. 32 Bonham, 33 DFW, 34 Meridian, and 33 at this hour back to the west. This computer model may be a little bit slow in bringing an end to the snow. It does show it lingering through midnight here across the Dallas-Fort Worth area. 3 o'clock in the morning, we still could have some light snow. I have a feeling, though, it's going to be ending a little bit sooner than is depicted here by the computer model. By early tomorrow morning, we're left with just a few flurries. That gets out of here pretty quickly. We're still cloudy through noontime, and then I do expect the clouds to break up as we head through the afternoon hours. Additional snowfall, Fort Worth, Cleburne, Hillsboro, over towards Corsicana, Athens. In general, less than an inch of snow, 1 to 2 inches here, eastern Tarrant County, Dallas County, on up 75 in the Tollway, and then we could see another 2, possibly 3 inches of snowfall where that lingers longer up around Fannin County, northern Hunt County, on up towards the Paris and Sulphur Springs area. 7-day forecast here. Again, a solid refreeze Friday night into early Saturday morning. down to 23, 44 by the afternoon. Sunshine again Sunday, 46. That should really take care of the rest of the snow, sleet, and slush. We're back to normal, I think, by the Monday morning commute. And then 50-degree temperatures return beginning Tuesday of next week.
Okay, Dan, thanks. Make sure to download the free Fox 4 Weather app for the latest winter weather alerts. You can scan the QR code on your screen. It'll take you right to the app and the downloading of it. The app has live radar. You'll get weather alerts if they're issued and much more. A real snow day sends some local kids to the biggest hill they can find for sledding, how they enjoyed their time off of school.
And here's what a lot of kids did. They did this. They built a snowman. This is from Sonia Pittman in Carrollton. Her kid's having a great time. We'll be right back.
All right, let's take another look at the live radar and a live picture. That's downtown Dallas, I believe, kind of just cloaked in low clouds and all that kind of stuff. And the radar, Dan Henry will be back throughout the next hour or so, updating you on conditions as we see them. That's a picture from Reunion Tower, so we'll see.
Well, here's a picture of Poppy. We want to give you an update on our station service dog in training. Poppy is loving the weather. A little surprised it was her first time to experience all of this. So a little jumping around, figuring
out. Play a little
fetch. Yeah,
with Gabby, a handler who works at Fox 4. This time, a little more snow on the ground. She's going to go ahead and take a taste there. That's nice. She seems to be enjoying it. She's our, as you said, our dog in training. Excellent. Service dog in training.
Yeah, she does doing a dog pretty well. It's the service part she's learning.
She doesn't be trained to be a dog. She's got that nailed.
So there was enough snow in Richardson that students got a little sledding in.
There were also snowballs and snowmen. Fox 4's Lori Brown has more.
In just a matter of hours Thursday morning, North Texas turned into a giant playground.
I love it. I've been waiting for this day the whole year.
11-year-old Diego Garza has put his entrepreneurial skills to work in anticipation of this very possibility.
I created this snowball maker with my 3D printer to just clamp it. And then you open it, and there's a perfect snowball. It's good, it's compact, so it doesn't like break off when you throw it.
What do you think of this snowball maker your brother made?
It's cool. He made me one that was shaped like a heart.
It's a snow that turned out to be better than kids expected.
When you woke up, were you expecting this?
Yeah, well, maybe. No.
It's like slippery now because the rain, so it goes faster.
Better than you expected?
Yeah. My mom said it was going back and forth with snow and not snow. And the night before this, my mom said it's not going to snow, and then the next day it snowed.
But even after the snow started, some still doubted.
I told my brother and his friend that it was snowing, and they were like, it's just frost. And I was like, no, it's actually snow. And then his friend was like, oh, no, it's actually snow.
What was the first thing you did when you went outside?
Tried to catch it in my mouth.
I think it's so fun. It's like a winter wonderland in Texas. Like I get to see my little siblings and cousins play in it. Still, some of them for like the first time they remember, so that's been really, really fun.
I didn't know it was going to snow this much because usually I go skiing and it doesn't really snow that much in Texas, so I'm like really surprised. I think this is like really, really special.
In Richardson, Lori Brown, Fox 4 News.
I love that.
So fun, right?
Little voices, so fun. Yeah.
Having a great time. All right, just ahead, the Supreme Court is set to hear arguments over the future of TikTok, what the app says it plans to do if the court allows the ban to be put in place.
That was a good day for the dogs today in the snow. They love it. More highlights from our North Texas pets enjoying the rare snow.
We are following breaking news out of Fort Worth for you. Police are investigating an officer-involved shooting on the northwest side of the city. The department says officers were called to a domestic disturbance on Seafield Lane right about 6 p.m. Fort Worth police say while officers were on the scene, a male was shot and taken to the hospital. Police did not say who shot the male. MedStar confirms it transported one patient in critical condition. No officers were injured. We'll pass along additional information as it becomes available.
The United States Supreme Court will hear arguments tomorrow over the fate of TikTok. TikTok says it plans to shut down the social media platform in the U.S. by January 19th. That is unless the Supreme Court strikes down or otherwise delays the effective date of a law aimed at forcing TikTok's sale by its Chinese parent company. Enforcement of the law would be left to the incoming Trump administration. President-elect Donald Trump has dropped his support for a TikTok ban. The court's decision could come within just a couple of days.
Rodeo Houston has announced its star-studded music lineup. Reba McEntire will start things off. That's opening day, March 4th. It's been 11 years since she last performed at the rodeo. Luke Bryan will close out everything on the 23rd. Others set to perform include Riley Green, Bun B, Brad Paisley, Journey, Post Malone, and Brooks and Dunn. Tickets go on sale next Thursday. Good lineup. Stay with us. We'll be back.
Parker McCollum.
All right, another look at some really cute pups out enjoying the snow.
So these particular dogs are Fox 4 photojournalist Paul Beams. This is in Argyle this morning. Moose, Dobie, and Dottie having a great time.
So cute.
They look like they really enjoy it.
Lots of fun, right?
Yeah, really fun. Thank you for watching Fox 4 News at 9 tonight.
Stay right here. Clarice is coming up next with more Fox 4 News.
Here for you. Fox 4 News starts now. Almost all North Texas school districts will remain closed tomorrow with the snow falling again late tonight. Good evening, I'm Clarice Tinsley. We have a list of districts scrolling at the bottom of your screen, and as we take a live look at the winter conditions on the roads, we can tell you this is in Irving heading west. This is on the George Bush. There's nobody else out there, and that's a good thing. If you don't have to go out, do stay home. This was video taken about an hour ago in McKinney, and you can see quite a bit of slush is built up there, especially along some of those side streets. Collin County has seen some of the higher snow totals in our area. Let's turn now to Chief Meteorologist Dan Henry. Dan.
Hey there, Clarice. Yeah, there have been some impressive snowfall totals from roughly northern Dallas and northern Tarrant counties, and progressively get higher as you head from there up toward the Red River. Prosper 7 inches, Bonham 6 inches, McKinney 4 inches of snow, Plano 3, and Addison 2. And we're going to add to that a little bit here over the next few hours. We've gone over to snow here at DFW Airport. That's a look at a deserted Highway 114. I haven't really been seeing many cars at all going east or west, and that's a good thing. If you don't need to travel, by all means, stay home. 32 DFW, there comes one car. 33 at Love Field, 32 at Alliance Airport. And we've been charting the progress of this rain-snow line. It is edging eastward very gradually. It now extends from Bonham on the east side of McKinney, basically right over Dallas Love Field, Alvarado east of Cleburne, and then down towards the Clifton area. So everywhere west of that line, it has changed over to snow. Still a cold rain to the east here. We go for a little radar tour, and that is all snow, of course, in the Sherman-Denison area back towards Gainesville. Now, as you get west of Gainesville, the snow has pretty much ended. Snow continues through Denton County here. Much of what you're seeing to the northeast in Lamar County and Fannin County, if it is in the form of rain, it could be some freezing rain there that continues to accumulate on some of the tree branches and the power lines. Again, west of this line is our snow. So it's from roughly Love Field back westward through the mid-cities, Saginaw, Fort Worth. Still a cold rain out towards Mesquite, the McClendon-Chisholm area, and then down to our south, we've got rain here through Ellis County, Corsicana, Gun Barrel City, with snow farther west as you head towards Cleburne, Meridian, and into the Clifton area. Temperature readings right now hovering right around freezing with the snowfall. 32 Denton, Fort Worth, DFW, and Cleburne, and just above freezing to the east. It's 33 in Dallas, 34 in Terrell, and 33 at this hour in Canton. So how much more snowfall are we looking for? Generally minor amounts, an inch or less. Cleburne, over towards the Waxahachie area, Corsicana, Athens, could see some snow very late tonight. 1 to 2 inches from Dallas, DFW Airport, up through the Sherman area, and then maybe 2 to 3 additional inches as you head up towards Bonham, Paris, Greenville, and Sulphur Springs, as the moisture is going to hang on there a little bit longer. We'll take another look at radar and your all-important 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Dan, thank you. Denton County started seeing rain transition to snow at around 6:30 tonight, leading to some treacherous conditions on the roadways. Fox 4's Amelia Jones is there with a look at current conditions. Amelia.
Yeah, Clarice, and it's probably pretty obvious from our live shot right now. The snow and the wind has really picked up here. We're in Denton, about 20 minutes away from Sanger, where we were at the 9 o'clock hour, and it took us about 20 minutes to get here. And on our drive here, I can tell you that the roads are starting to get covered again. It is getting slick out there. We also saw a TxDOT truck plowing, so they are out there working to clear these roads. I was curious how thick and packable the snow is, and here at this Buc-ee's parking lot, I can pick up just a really good and make a really good snowball here. So this is very good packing snow. I also saw about a 6-foot tall snowman in someone's yard as we were driving here. So really thick snow. It doesn't seem to be stopping. It's only increased as the night has gone on. Those conditions are going to be hard for TxDOT to work with. We checked in with them, and we also spoke to drivers who were out in the elements today.
Denton County saw a good amount of snow Thursday morning. By the afternoon, rain moved in and the roads were slushy. The TxDOT Fort Worth district says brine pretreatment is a part of that reason.
The amount of slush you see on the roadway is partially given to that because it lowers that freezing point, and you'd much rather have slush on the highway than, let's say, ice bonding onto the roadway. You don't want that.
Drivers like Gabe White are not taking any chances on the road.
Four-wheel drive and drive slow.
Even in his large truck, White said he was cautious on his drive from McKinney to Denton.
So I drove from McKinney and I did 20 miles an hour from my house till I got to the highway, and then I did about 40.
By Thursday evening, we started to see a transition from rain to sleet. When we pulled over at another gas station, big snowflakes started falling. The transition back to snow is a concern for TxDOT operations.
Our crews are going to monitor that very carefully. We're going to be very aggressive with the way we treat it. If there's an opportunity to remove it, to plow it off, that's what we'll do.
Especially on elevated surfaces like overpasses and bridges, which are typically the first spots to freeze.
So throughout the evening, as it transitions to sleet, to snow, we're going to be focusing on those elevated points. And if at any point there's any sort of accumulation, we will go to large-scale plowing to remove that off the roadway.
Fort Worth District of TxDOT covers 8 counties. More than 300 employees are working 24/7 during the winter weather event. Val Lopez says they felt prepared for the first half of the winter weather and are gearing up for the second round overnight. But they need drivers to do their part too.
You have to drive to the conditions are present. You have to slow down. You have to show, especially be cautious on those interchanges and those bridges. They accumulate ice quicker and faster and ice over quicker than the main lanes.
And with this snow, the flakes are big and they are coming down really fast. Those drivers, you're going to need your windshield wipers too, maybe even your defroster to make sure you're safe. Lopez mentioned to me that what came through this morning was pretty on par for what he's seen as far as winter weather events in North Texas. He also mentioned that there are 50 additional crews from the southern region of the state up here to help the TxDOT Fort Worth district, and those crews are focusing on the I-30 and 360 corridors. But Clarice, crews are working 24/7 all the way through this winter weather event. You heard that, and they will be out all night. We already saw one plow making its way through I-35 North. Clarice, back to you.
Seeing very heavy snowfall with you live in Denton. Amelia, thank you. Areas in Collin County also got hit hard today with snow. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager's live in Plano to give us a look at current conditions there. Peyton.
Hi, Clarice. And here in Collin County, we've been out here all day. It has been constant precipitation. I don't know if I have some pretty fluffy snowflakes for you. I don't really, but we're definitely seeing it change from sleet to ice. And hopefully I can get you some pretty snow here in a bit. But there was some pretty snow early this morning, morning into the early afternoon here in Collin County. This is what's been collected on the ground. I'm in Plano right now. They got 3 inches, McKinney 4 inches here across Collin County. This is 75 behind me. We've been talking to drivers all day. Very slushy on the roads. Take a listen.
Tow trucks were seen as we traveled along 75 in Collin County during Thursday's winter weather. Drivers trying to tackle the snow and sleet. In Plano, 2 cars crashed, causing both to slide off the shoulder. A few exits north, a black truck had to be loaded away after it was found along the freeway. Off the highway, this McKinney neighborhood looked like a winter wonderland.
It's kind of weird for Texas to get snow, but I like it. It's really fun to just come out here and act like a kid for once again.
Colleen McGee and Jacob Merrill were enjoying their snow day when their four-wheeler wouldn't start back up. Meanwhile, power trucks were staged in Collin County, preparing for any potential outages. Back on the roads, Eric Salazar is headed from McKinney to his overnight shift at a Dallas hospital.
Luckily, the hospital I'm at, they offer a free room and board if it gets really bad.
More than I thought. There are more people out on the roads than I anticipated.
All while around 4 inches of snow fell in McKinney, with another blanket of snow predicted to pass through overnight.
Some are good, some are bad. Some standing water in the right-hand lane, center lane's usually good. Neighborhoods are dicey, and it's going to get worse as it gets colder.
Again, I'm in Plano, and like Dan mentioned, that second wave of snow is coming in overnight. We can definitely see it happening right now, like that transition of sleet to freezing rain to snow. If we can just pan up, Clarice, we're going to have it hit up against the light. I feel like you guys can see that it's definitely turning into snow, and that will continue overnight. But for live, we're here in Plano. Clarice, back to you.
Yeah, we could totally see that with the light and also see how big and thick those flakes are. All right, Peyton Yeager live in Plano. Thank you. Dallas Mavericks moved up their tip-off against Portland tonight, hoping to ease the fans driving home. Most of Dallas has only seen rain today, but with a wintry mix of sleet. Even without a lot of snow, Dallas County officials say they have responded to about 50 crashes. Fox 4's Stephen Dial is at what is known to be a trouble spot, the High Five in North Dallas. Stephen.
Definitely, Clarice. Elevated surfaces are the problem area for TxDOT officials and anyone on the roads because elevated surfaces are easier to freeze over. Luckily, in the 2 hours that we've been out here, there haven't been any accidents. I haven't seen any cars sliding around. Like you mentioned, Dallas Sheriff's Office said that they've responded to about 50 accidents today during this weather event. 20 of them were major accidents. The Mavs won, and fans got home before this sleet just started coming down.
In the midst of heavy rain, fans braced the elements to see the Dallas Mavericks play.
We thought it might get canceled, but it's a professional sport. They're going to play the game.
No, I was working from home, so I was just monitoring to see if the game was going to get canceled, it was going to happen. Then they changed the time on me.
The game was moved up an hour due to the wintry mix that moved into North Texas Thursday. Crews at the AAC put out salt and cleared ice from sidewalks, but it was quickly washed away from the heavy rain. Some families drove from areas like the Colony in Denton County, where they had to trudge through much more snow than had fallen in downtown Dallas.
The main roads was pretty good, but, obviously residential roads wasn't that great, but the main roads were fine.
Others just navigated slick roads in southern parts of Dallas.
There's not a lot of snow on the street. There's not a lot of congestion either.
While getting to the game was easy for some, getting back home when conditions worsen is a concern.
We'll worry about that when it happens.
Just be cautious, take my time, 40 or less, and I'll be just fine.
Yeah, and I hope that everyone drives that speed or even slower, Clarice. Not a lot of cars on the road, which is a good sign, but those DOT crews are going to be back out early because the deep freeze is going to happen overnight. More things are going to come down, whether it be snow or sleet, and so everyone needs to still stay weather aware into tomorrow.
Yeah, stay weather aware and stay home if you can. Stephen Dial live on the High Five. Thank you. And stay with Fox 4 throughout this winter storm. We're going to have 24/7 updates on fox4news.com and streaming for free on Fox Local. Next on Fox 4 News at 10, it has been a slippery day on some North Texas roads, and we are not out of the woods yet. A look at how some people are helping others who get stuck. And here's a live look at our weather radar, and we're seeing that line to the west is snow, to the east is cold rain. Dan Henry's going to be back with another look at our winter forecast. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're taking a live look at our drive cam. This is in Tarrant County, just past 183 and Norwood Drive in Hearst. And this is a view heading west, and you can see that there's precip there, but very, very few cars on the road. That's a very good thing. We're going to check back in soon with Dan Henry. More than 1,200 people are in 3 Dallas shelters tonight. The Austin Street Center and 2 temporary shelters at Fair Park are at nearly 70% capacity. Outreach workers with our calling have been out on what they call a search and rescue mission. Some people say yes to their offer to come inside, while others say no. Our calling says they're experienced with the homeless population and they will respect their choices. North Texas drivers found themselves slipping and sliding on the roads in the Metroplex. Conditions appear to worsen to the farther north you went. Several road crews were treating the roads with brine and sand. Still, many cars were damaged and left on the shoulder. In Collin County, some people were out helping drivers get unstuck. One man used his Jeep in Anna to help pull a semi out of a ditch. He says he made the rounds today.
Yeah, there's a car and a truck up there on 75 a little farther north. It looks like they're in the ditch in the wall. We're going to head back that way and see if there's anything we can do.
Look for the helpers. Other motorists Fox 4 talked to today said they saw plenty of drivers taking it slow or pulling over and simply stopping to stay safe.
All right, here's a look at our weather headlines. Wintry mix continues to change to snow gradually from west to east, although the window for accumulating snow in any one particular hours is not going, any one particular location is not going to last very long. Hazardous driving conditions likely for the remainder of tonight, and then the slush that we see with the melting tomorrow afternoon will refreeze late tomorrow night and early Saturday morning. A lot of kids, a lot of folks having fun today, including Alejandro there up in Pilot Point. That is one giant snowball there. Saw some impressive snowmen as well. That's a nearly deserted Highway 114. It's snowing there at DFW Airport, where it's currently 32 degrees, 33 at Love Field, and 32 at Alliance Airport. This rain-snow line continues to slowly advance to the east. So west of this line, we're seeing now predominantly snow and still cold rain to the east. Freezing rain, though, in some locations up here where temperatures are right around freezing or just below it, from Fannin County into Lamar County. That rain-snow line is continuing to march eastward there. It's all snow in Grayson County. The snow is pretty much now come to an end once you go west of Gainesville. We take a look down into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is all snow here occurring in Tarrant County, into the Farmers Branch area likely. Heading back west now into Grand Prairie and Arlington. You've switched over to snow while it's still cold rain just off to the east at Mesquite, Seagoville. Into the Ferris area. That's all cold rain that continues across Henderson County. And meantime, that rain-snow line edging into Western Hill County as we speak. Here's a look at current temperature readings. We're at 31 in Sherman, 32 there at Paris, 32 Bonham, where that would be freezing rain there with liquid, 34 Terrell, and 33 degrees out to our west in Mineral Wells. So here's Futurecast. I think this particular computer model is a little slow in ending the precipitation. It still shows snow around here about midnight tonight. 3 o'clock in the morning, though, I think we're going to see this snow moving off a little bit more steadily to our east. As we head towards early tomorrow morning, sunrise, we'll still see some lingering snow flurries, maybe a snow shower or two as we get a little bit of wraparound moisture. And those flurries may continue through about mid-morning tomorrow. They should dry up pretty quickly as we head towards lunchtime and the clouds break up. And with temperatures edging up to around 36, 37 again, driving conditions should improve a lot during the afternoon hours. Additional snowfall, an inch or less from Cleburne, Hillsborough over towards Corsicana and Athens. These areas we weren't expecting really to get much snow, but they could end for a couple of hours as some snowfall. 1 to 2 inches possible as you head a little farther north into Dallas County, Collin County, Grayson County. And if there's anyone that's going to get another 2, possibly 3 inches of snow, it would be those far northeastern portions of the area where we see that moisture linger a little bit longer. 37 again for tomorrow's high. Again, a hard freeze late Friday night, early Saturday. And on top of that, we could see some freezing fog. So icy road conditions likely early on Saturday morning, warming up to 44, 46 with more sunshine Sunday. So we should melt away a lot of this snow and slush. Should be back to normal for that Monday morning commute, and warming up as well with temperatures reaching the 50s Wednesday and Thursday.
Sounds good, Dan. Thanks. Make sure to download the free Fox 4 Weather app for the latest winter weather alerts. You can scan the QR code on your screen. It'll take you right to it. The app has live radar, weather alerts, and much, much more. Check this out. Firefighters in Princeton at Station 3 got in on the fun during today's snow day. They built a fire snowman. They gave the snowman a firefighter's jacket and helmet and that huge mustache to complete the look. Very sharp. In Denton County, there is a giant of a snowman. He's 8 feet tall, and South Lake firefighter Jimmy Hoover is standing next to him on a stepladder to give us some perspective. Taylor Reyes sent me this photo. She said it took Jimmy about 90 minutes to create this man of snow who stands on duty at the Pilot Point home of her parents, Laura and Greg. Well done. The Ohio State University Band arrived in North Texas today ahead of the Cotton Bowl tomorrow. The band made its first stop at Melissa at the Melissa Championship Center for rehearsals. The UT Band put on its rehearsals at the Coppell ISD Fieldhouse. Both of the rehearsals were open to the public. The bands will take the field tomorrow during the Cotton Bowl at AT&T Stadium. And breaking sports news, the winner will play Notre Dame, who just beat Penn State in the Orange Bowl. Sorry, Dan Henry. Coming up in the next half hour, our sports crew will break down the expectations from the teams going into tomorrow. More news coming up.
Okay.
Snow angel.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh boy. Polar plunge.
Zarina in the Little Elm and Aubrey area captured her husband Trace conducting an at-home polar plunge in their backyard. And you saw him make that snow angel before jumping in their pool. Zarina tells us never too old for this kind of fun. The snow angel had to have been the warm-up, the cold warm-up. It's been a few years since North Texas kids have had enough snow to go sledding, but today's winter weather delivered that. North Texas turned into a frozen playground in just a few short hours. One entrepreneurial 11-year-old put his tech skills to the test in anticipation of the winter weather.
I created this snowball maker with my 3D printer, and you just clamp it, and then you open it, and there's a perfect snowball.
I told my brother and his friend that it was snowing, and they were like, it's just frost. And I was like, no, it's actually snow. And then his friend was like, oh no, it's actually snow.
I think it's so fun. It's like a winter wonderland in Texas.
So great to hear from the kids, get their perspective. The snow turned out to be perfect for building snowmen, throwing snowballs, and lots of sledding. North Texas kids are rooting for more snow tonight to get a few more hours of fun in tomorrow morning. Let's take another look at the radar. Live look from the High 5 in North Dallas. But right now we're going to look at the live weather radar. Again, the line is showing you to the west of the line is the snow, to the east is cold rain, and that line is moving across North Texas. And there we also are looking at the High 5. Not a lot of traffic out there, and that is a very good thing. Stay with us. More news coming up. Thank you for watching Fox 4 News at 10. Our news continues at 10:30, and much of North Texas is still being impacted by that winter storm at this hour. Areas that have mostly seen rain are now seeing snow. Let's take a live look at I-35 and 635 near Farmers Branch. And you can see there is slush on that overpass, and if you look closely at the street lamp in the middle of the street, you can see that there is some snow that is falling. Traffic very light, and it is moving very slowly. Let's head over. Chief Meteorologist Dan Henry. Dan.
Yeah, it is getting pretty slick out there. That snow is laying on the ground there and covering those roadways. That's happening in many other areas as well. So with this changeover to snow will come some hazardous driving conditions for the remainder of the night. The snow shuts off tomorrow morning. We'll see some lingering flurries, and then we'll be dealing with slushy and in some cases snow-covered roads. During the afternoon, definite travel improvement as we see temperatures that'll climb into the 36 to 37 degree range, and not expecting any precipitation to be falling, but there will be a hard refreeze late Friday night, early Saturday morning that will likely lead to some tough travel conditions, at least during the early morning hours on Saturday. Snowing there at DFW Airport as well, where we're at 32 degrees, 33 at Love Field. There's our rain snow line. It continues to advance slowly to the east, but we're not going to have a great deal of time once it does change over to snow to see a lot of accumulating snow. Most of you will just see additional light accumulations. There will be a few exceptions to that. This is all rain, though, to our east, on the east side of that rain snow line. Snow from Bonham and Leonard westward through the Sherman-Denison area. So they're piling up the snow here in Grayson County and Fannin County, getting another good dose of snow up here in Collin County as well. Snow is still back to the west around Saginaw and Fort Worth, but it comes to an end as you head west of there into Aledo and the Azle Eagle Mountain Lake areas. And then finally down here to our south and east, this is mostly rain, Corsicana, Gun Barrel City, Kaufman. Snow, though, in Johnson County into western portions of Hill County. Temperatures have been pretty rock steady for the most part this evening. We're hovering right at 32 at DFW, 34 Terrell, and 32 at both Stephenville and Granbury. And the good news is we're only going to fall another 1 or 2 degrees on the thermometer between now and early tomorrow morning. We'll have another look at your forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right. See you soon, Dan. Thank you. Fox 4's Amelia Jones and her photographer are driving along I-35 southbound near Lake Lewisville. And Amelia, what are road conditions like there?
Well, Clarice, they are deteriorating, and Quincy's actually turning on our defroster here because we're getting a little bit, it's hard to see. I'm going to switch over to the road camera here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It's a little foggy here as we're trying to get our windshield visible here, but in the distance I can see 3 TxDOT trucks. There's a couple of plows and then another one putting down treatment. There's 2 other cars beside us. We're both going at least 30 miles an hour. Everyone's giving each other plenty of space. There's really no other cars on the roads. We're still seeing quite a bit of snow, not as big of flakes as I saw in Denton, but it is still snowing, and as Dan mentioned, it is starting to stick to the road, so the roadways are starting to get covered again. But not only do we see the TxDOT trucks in front of us here, we also saw them heading northbound as well. So I did get a chance to speak with them, and I know they're working around the clock 24/7 to make sure that the roads stay clear. And as we're dealing with right now of got to get our defrosters on, we need our windshield wipers. I know a lot of other drivers are probably going to need that same thing. I think we're getting it a little bit better here. It's still kind of foggy. I can try to show you a little bit. You can kind of see the lights in the distance. Again, I'm in the passenger seat, and Quincy is driving here. But it is some deteriorating conditions right now. We are taking it very slow, and TxDOT trucks are out, but the good news is there's not a lot of other drivers on the road. So a lot of people heeding those warnings, not going out if they don't need to go out. But crews are out here doing their work and people are giving them room to do it. So with that, Clarice, I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Amelia and Quincy, safety to you and to all of our crews in the field tonight. Thank you. In Dallas County, the story so far has been rain. While there's been a mix of sleet with brief periods of snow, the worst of the winter weather had stayed out of Dallas. Even without a lot of snow, however, Dallas County officials say they did respond to about 50 crashes. Fox 4's Stephen Dial is at what can be a trouble spot, the High 5 in North Dallas. And when we talked to you at 10 o'clock, Stephen, you said there wasn't a lot of traffic out there. Is that still the situation now?
That's still the case, and the cars that are driving on 75 are driving pretty fast, but the ones that are going up the overpass, those elevated services, they are slowing down. Actually just talked to some guys with Dallas Fire Rescue. An ambulance drove by. They're finishing up their 24-hour shift, making sure that everyone's safe. Dallas Sheriff's Office responded today to more than 50 accidents, 20 of them they considered major accidents. Luckily, in downtown, the roads weren't slick, and it made for a somewhat easier travel home after the Mavs game.
In the midst of heavy rain, fans brace the elements to see the Dallas Mavericks play.
We thought it might get canceled, but it's a professional sport. They're going to play the game.
Now I was working from home, so I was just monitoring to see if the game was going to get canceled, it was going to happen. Then they changed the time on me.
The game was moved up an hour due to the wintry mix that moved into North Texas Thursday. Crews at the AAC put out salt and cleared ice from sidewalks, but it was quickly washed away from the heavy rain. Some families drove from areas like the Colony in Denton County, where they had to trudge through much more snow than had fallen in downtown Dallas.
The main roads was pretty good, but, you know, obviously residential roads wasn't that great, but the main roads were fine.
Others just navigated slick roads in southern parts of Dallas.
There's not a lot of snow on the street. There's not a lot of congestion either.
While getting to the game was easy for some, getting back home when conditions worsen is a concern.
We'll worry about that when it happens.
Just be cautious, take my time, 40 or less, and I'll be just fine.
Hey, and now I've been getting text messages all day, particularly from some people who live in southern Dallas saying, hey, we didn't get any snow. Be careful what you wish for, right? Overnight, while we're sleeping, things are going to refreeze. You don't want icy roads, and that can be a concern. And you never know what you're going to wake up to tomorrow, Clarice. So we'll have to wait and see what the conditions look like in the morning.
Wise words from Stephen Dial. And Stephen, safe home to you and your photographer. Thank you. Parts of Collin County really got hit with the bullseye from the storm. Snow started early, leaving roads slushy for most of the day. The conditions have caused problems across the county. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager continues our winter storm coverage from Collin County and shows us the problems drivers had to deal with.
Tow trucks were seen as we traveled along 75 in Collin County during Thursday's winter weather. Drivers trying to tackle the snow and sleet. In Plano, 2 cars crashed, causing both to slide off the shoulder. A few exits north, a black truck had to be loaded away after it was found along the freeway. Off the highway, this McKinney neighborhood looked like a winter wonderland.
It's kind of weird for Texas to get snow, but I like it. It's really fun to just come out here and act like a kid for once again.
Colleen McGee and Jacob Merrill were enjoying their snow day when their four-wheeler wouldn't start back up. Meanwhile, power trucks were staged in Collin County, preparing for any potential outages. Back on the roads, Eric Salazar is headed from McKinney to his overnight shift at a Dallas hospital.
Luckily, the hospital I'm at, they offer a free room and board if it gets really bad.
More than I thought. There are more people out on the roads than I anticipated.
All while around 4 inches of snow fell in McKinney, with another blanket of snow predicted to pass through overnight.
Some are good, some are bad. Some standing water in the right-hand lane, center lane's usually good. Neighborhoods are dicey, and it's going to get worse as it gets colder.
Peyton Yeager, Fox 4 News.
As we mentioned, it has been a mess in Collin County pretty much all day. Several road crews were treating the roads with brine and sand. Still, many cars were damaged and left on the shoulder. Some people were out helping drivers get unstuck. And one guy used his Jeep in Anna to help pull a semi out of a ditch. He says he made the rounds today.
There's a car and a truck up there on 75 a little farther north. It looks like they're in the ditch in the wall. We're going to head back that way and see if there's anything we can do.
Thanks to people who help. Other drivers Fox 4 talked to today said they saw plenty of drivers taking it really slow or pulling over and stopping to stay safe. More than 1,200 people are in 3 Dallas shelters tonight. The Austin Street Center and 2 temporary shelters at Fair Park are at nearly 70% capacity. Outreach workers with Our Calling have been out on what they call search and rescue missions. Some people say yes to their offer while others say no. Our Calling says they're experienced with the homeless population and they will respect their choices.
We're not going to go into somebody's tent, but we are going to announce ourselves, let them know who we are, that we've got emergency shelter available, and if we don't get a response, then we just have to move on.
Our Calling is asking North Texans to download its app and send them locations where you see homeless people out in the cold. The nonprofit says it will send teams that want to invite them into a warming shelter and to get a meal. The storm caused multiple ground stops at North Texas airports today, slowing travel and forcing more flight cancellations. Let's take a live look at DFW Airport. So far, there have been more than 1,500 cancellations there. At Love Field, there have been more than 270 cancellations. Many departures have been delayed for de-icing operations. Almost all North Texas school districts will be closed again tomorrow. We've got a list of closures, delays, and more on our website, fox4news.com. You can also watch the scroll at the bottom of your screen to get more information. Let's take another look at the radar as winter weather continues to impact North Texas. We've got several more hours of this before the snow clears out. Dan's going to be back right after the break to give you another look at our forecast.
All right, take a look at the drive cam there, and we're around the Louisville area here on I-35, wet roadways in this vicinity, and that just goes to show you what that pre-treating does. That allows those main thoroughfares to be mainly wet. Now, I can assure you that off the main roads, On the access roads, the neighborhood roads, they'll look far different, but traffic moving along there, but you can see a little buildup of some slush on those shoulders, and especially when you exit. We just passed that exit ramp there, and you saw the buildup, and you can see the brake lights there. Good idea to still slow down and take your time with the hazardous driving that will likely be with us into tomorrow morning. So with this change over to snow now, we're starting to see some of this snow lay on the roadways here, and temperatures have fallen to about freezing, maybe another degree or two lower, so it should have no problem sticking to the road surfaces. Snow tapers off quickly tomorrow morning. We'll be left with slushy and in some cases snow-covered roads. Your neighborhoods will likely be covered. Slushy in the afternoon. We're going to see travel improve as we head into Friday afternoon. No precipitation falling, so that should really give road crews a chance to get out there and treat and clear the roads. We do see, though, very cold temperatures coming our way late Friday night, early Saturday morning. We're going to dip down into the upper teens and low 20s, and that will mean that anything that's slushy refreezes. We could also see some fog that could produce some slick spots as well. Fog with temperatures below freezing is freezing fog and can create a thin film of ice on the roadways. That's 114, our DFW Airport Tower camera. Snow still coming down there with a temperature of 32, 33 at Love Field. So most where you're seeing the blue colors now, we are reporting snow here. And where you're seeing these dark blue colors, it's coming down at a pretty good clip. So we are going to pick up some additional accumulations here. Let's go for a closer look up north. Snowing across much of Grayson County, where they've picked up a good 6 to 7 inches in some spots. Snow coming down steadily now in McKinney, down towards the Plano area, snowing across a good part of Fannin County. As we head down into the Dallas-Fort Worth area, this is the back edge of the snow. I'll step on the other side here. Back edge of the snow west of Fort Worth now, out towards the Justin area. And we're still seeing that transition taking place here across Dallas County, off to the east into Rockwall County. That's mainly rain. That is definitely all rain coming down heavily on the east and southeast side of Corsicana, and kind of a mix of some rain and snow there in Hill County. Temperatures generally range from 30 at Bowie to 38 degrees at this hour in Corsicana. That is definitely the warm spot. So Futurecast is showing the snow continuing as we head into the midnight hour. I do believe it's going to move off a little bit more quickly than we see depicted here on this particular computer model. There will be a few wraparound scattered snow flurries, a couple of snow showers early tomorrow morning. Still a few flurries around 9 o'clock tomorrow. By lunchtime, it's all gone, and then those clouds break up, and that should allow for some melting. An inch or less of additional accumulation here as you head south and west of Dallas. 1 to 2 inches farther north into Dallas County and Collin County, and there could be an additional 2, possibly 3 inches of snow farther northeastward from northern Hunt County into Fannin County and Lamar County. 7-day forecast. Again, refreezing expected early Saturday morning. Up to 44, though, in the afternoon. 46 on Sunday. So we're going to take care of all this snow and slush this weekend. Should be back to normal for the Monday morning commute. And then warmer temperatures with dry weather next week as we moderate through the 50s.
Sounds great, Dan. Thanks. The Cotton Bowl is set to go on as scheduled tomorrow, despite the winter weather. Sam Gannon is in next with more from the head coaches of both the Texas Longhorns and the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Hey guys, I'm Sam Gannon. Welcome to a very abbreviated version of Free For All. As you can see, I'm working from home tonight because of the weather. I hope all of you guys are staying safe and off the roads. All right, well, let's get to the big game that's taking place tomorrow night in Arlington, and we'll feature the Texas Longhorns facing off against the Ohio State Buckeyes in the college football playoff semifinals, the 89th Cotton Bowl Classic, which will be played at AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys. This will mark the Longhorns' 23rd appearance in this particular bowl game, but their first since 2003 when they beat LSU.